Well, it's Thanksgiving week. Matter of fact, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. So today on the Steve Freeman podcast, we are going to talk about being thankful. That's coming up on the Steve Freeman podcast.
You're listening to the Steve Freeman podcast, the real, raw truth about the pursuit of success in music, business, and life. Here's your host, hit songwriter, multi-platinum selling producer, and serial entrepreneur, Steve Freeman.
Hey guys, I'm Steve Freeman, and welcome to the Steve Freeman podcast. It is so good to have you here. I am thankful that you are here. While you're here, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Leave us 5 stars, and please leave a written review on Apple Podcast, iTunes. We're going to start featuring a review every episode. So if you want to have your review featured, then please don't forget to leave one. Just like Eli Beers, he left, "This podcast is super informative, super honest, and just overall amazing. Steve is great at what he does." Eli, thank you so much for your review and your comment that you left. If you want to have yours featured, all you got to do is leave one. If you're not following me on social media, I would love to have you. All you have to do is follow me at The Steve Freeman on all social media platforms. Also, we are just 2 days away, technically. This is Wednesday, then we've got Thanksgiving. Friday, the Artist Development Masterclass goes live. The course begins. Almost feels like something from Star Wars. The course begins. The Artist Development Masterclass coming your way Friday. You will get lesson number 1 if you have registered. If you have not yet registered to take the Artist Development Masterclass, head to thestevefreeman.com and register now. It will be free for a limited time. And if you are a member of my Music Business Mindset, my inner circle, it will be forever free for you. So make sure you sign up. Make sure you register. It's totally free. My 25 years of experience in the music business as a hit songwriter, multi-platinum selling producer, publishing company owner, record label owner, it's all going in to this 7-week Artist Development Masterclass to help you find success in your career. Register now. Get your account set up, your username, your password, so that you can log in when the course goes live on Friday. I can't believe it's already here. But it is. It's coming up. All right, let's dive into today's episode. And with Thanksgiving being tomorrow, I know we normally have the podcast. It normally goes live on Thursdays. Today it's Wednesday because I didn't want to put a podcast out on Thanksgiving. I know many of you are traveling to see family and friends and be able to share this wonderful holiday with your family. Also, you might notice, those of you that are watching on YouTube, if you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. But you'll notice we're not at the normal podcast studio. We are inside my home studio here at the house. My goal this week was to not spend as much time at the office, try to take this week to do some thinking and preparing. And spend a little bit more time with family and friends, because that is what I am most thankful for. I know that for a lot of us, and I don't know about you, I'm going to put this totally on me because I don't want to speak for you, but is it not true, I know for myself, that a lot of times the things that we value the most, the things that we love the most, and the things that we are actually most thankful for in our lives are the first thing and most often things that we take for granted. Of course, we all say, we're thankful for family, we're thankful for friends, we're thankful for relationships and associations, and we're grateful and we're thankful for those things. But it's always those things that we end up taking for granted first. It's kind of like that whole adage of people who have been in long-term relationships. And sometimes you don't even have to have been in a long-term relationship, but when you're in a relationship with someone that you love very much, those are the people that you yell at the most. Those are the people that feel the brunt of what the rest of the world does to you. Because we inherently, and sometimes we think to ourselves, almost unconsciously that we can be that way with them because they love us unconditionally. And we end up taking those people in our lives for granted. I know for me, I do this. I'm horrible with it. I am really not good at it. I go out into the world and I have my hopes and my aspirations and the things that I want to accomplish. And I go out and I feel that every single day that it is a battle, and you get up and you put your armor on and you go out into the world fully prepared for war. And sometimes, a lot of times, professionally and even personally, that is exactly what we confront on a daily basis. And that's hard, going off into war. And, I never served in the military. There are times that I wish that I had. I had the opportunity and I didn't do it. I was pursuing other things, but I'm so thankful and grateful for the brave men and women that put on a uniform, whether that's military or first responders or firemen, policemen. I'm so grateful that they get up and they put on their armor every day and they go out and they fight for us. I know they know that feeling firsthand. But a lot of times in those cultures of members of the military and police officers and firefighters and EMS, they tend to have a lot of problems at home because they go out and they fight these constant battles. And it's just inherent that when we come home from whatever it is that we're doing, we dump all of that on everybody around us because we have to dump it somewhere, right? We're all told keeping it inside is not healthy, and it's not. So when we unload the heaviest and the most on the people that we say we are most thankful for and that we love the most. I know this Thanksgiving season, I'm trying to be a little bit more cognizant of that and realize that even though my wife and my kids and my mom and my dad and my very close circle of family, that they love me unconditionally. But that also doesn't give me the right to almost make them have to put on the same armor that I put on every day just to deal with the fallout of what I've had happen in my day and in my life. And I remember as a kid, I've said this before, but I remember as a kid that my mom used to tell me that love is an action word, right? It is not something that we say, it's something that we show. And the last couple of days, I have really been thinking about, thankfulness is really the same way. Being thankful is an action word and not just something that's easily rolled off of our tongue to say, well, of course we're thankful for this, and of course we're thankful for that. But it's more in what we show and how we show those that we say we are thankful for and that we love. I know that a lot of what we do here on this podcast and in my videos on YouTube and a lot of what we're going to be doing through the Artist Development Academy is centered around the music business. And us creatives that have chosen this field and gone into this as a career path, there's not a lot to be thankful for a lot of the time. I've said it many, many, many times. The major victories in this business are few and far between. So maybe I think at times it's almost a case of we don't get to express thankfulness enough so that when we are confronted with opportunities that do need and do require our honest and unbiased thankfulness towards somebody else, I often wonder if sometimes maybe we're just out of practice. And for those of you that are in the entertainment business or workaholics like me, you don't have to be in the music business to be a workaholic. I know several. Most every successful person I know is a workaholic, and no matter what business they're in, what they've chosen to do with their life. And I think we get so wrapped up in what we're trying to accomplish, and those victories and those winning scenarios are so few and far between that sometimes we just forget the value of saying thank you for the small things in our life. Thank you for cooking that awesome meal last night. Thank you for doing the laundry. Thank you that I have fresh clothes to wear every single day, that I don't have to wonder where this is or where that is. Thank you that the refrigerator is always stocked with Diet Dr. Pepper. It's often those little things like that that we end up taking for granted, because I think subconsciously at times we think we don't say thank you because, again, subconsciously, I think we think that those things should be done as a part of the love scenario. You love me, so you do those things. And that's kind of your job. My job's to go off here and do these other things. Trust me, I'm guilty about that. My wife and I have conversations about that all the time, that I don't show, and I'm not making thank you an action word, and I just sometimes just let it roll off my tongue, or worst case scenario, sometimes I don't say it at all. And I think maybe this Thanksgiving holiday, I'm going to reassess and rethink how I'm treating and whether or not I'm using thank you as an actual action word or just something that rolls off my tongue, something that I just say because it's second nature, almost like when somebody says thank you, you immediately say you're welcome. You can do that. You can test that out. Walk up to a complete stranger today and say thank you. They will say you're welcome. Some might say for what, but I guarantee you 90% of them, it's just an inherent response. And I think that's how we end up treating so many people that are around us, is we treat them with that almost automatic response. And we come to expect things. And when we come to expect things, we tend to show less gratitude. We tend to show and say thank you less because we just think that it ought to be done anyway. I know I'm that way. And look, I don't want to put my shortcomings off on anybody, but I would encourage you to think about that. When's the last time that you really looked at somebody and said thank you, and there was thought behind the thank you? There was action behind the thank you. I know for me, I don't know when the last time that was. I say thank you all the time. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. I thank you guys for being here. Every single video, every single podcast. But even today, in saying that, I want to find a way to show that more. Not just say it, but actually show it. So maybe tomorrow, when you are sitting around, those of us that are fortunate to have our families with us, when we sit around that table, and some of us will bow our heads in prayer and we will thank our Maker and tell him the things that we are thankful for. And then some of us sit around and we try one day a year to express and show in action, more than words, the people that will be around us and surrounding us, that we are thankful for them as well. I know for me this Thanksgiving, I'm going to try to mean it a little more. I'm going to try to make it more of an action word and not just something that I say. Because if you think about, go back in your mind and you really think about it, think about a specific scenario in your life or in your career when you really showed somebody that you were thankful. The look in their eyes and the way that feels. I've had it happen a few times in my life where somebody has thanked me for something in a way that just floored me. And I did what I did, or whatever the scenario was, not to get the thank you in return, but because I just honestly was coming from a good place and wanted to do something for somebody, or went a little bit further, or went the extra mile. Seeing what the value of that extra effort and that extra mile was to that person was one of the best feelings, and is the best feeling. So maybe, just maybe if we put a little bit more thought into thank you, maybe instead of just saying, of course, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. Maybe if we tried to show that we are truly thankful. Because in a world where we live for instant gratification and constant gratification, and everything is so social media censored around me, that if we do shine the light on somebody else and we show that thankfulness and we show that appreciation, who knows where all these other people are in their life? A thank you, a heartfelt, truly meant, action-oriented thank you could be the exact medicine that somebody needs in their life. That's what I've been thinking about anyway. I wanted to talk about it in today's podcast. That being said, I want to say thank you for being here. We are wrapping up this year, which has been, I'm going to be real honest with you, this has been an amazing year, and it's also been one of the most difficult years in my life. I don't know what it is. I thought that it would happen at turning 40, and maybe it started happening at turning 40. And now as I get ready to turn 43, maybe the full weight of it is in. But I've talked before in a couple podcasts about changes that I'm going through in my life and changes that I'm going through in my career and trying to prepare for the next phase. It has also helped me readjust and reevaluate the things that I am thankful for. But I also think there's a valuable lesson to learn in realizing the things that maybe you thought you were thankful for and that you were chasing down that maybe don't add value to your life, and maybe you're just wasting thank yous. I'm also kind of in the middle of that process right now and eliminating people, eliminating situations, and eliminating things out of my life that I've just allowed to creep in, and I've allowed them to stay there, and I've allowed them to take up my energy, and I've allowed them into my circle because I may not, it's hard making hard decisions. And I've allowed things to influence me and be around me that add no value to me currently or me in the future. So I know as we end this year and start a new year, I'm not making New Year's resolutions. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but to me, I'm in the middle of a life shift. A lot of my belief systems are changing as I mature and get older and experience the world, and the world impresses and leaves its impression on me. Your worldview changes. And it's been hitting me really hard with the holiday season coming up this year. And that's why I'm reassessing my thankfulness. I'm reassessing the things that I am thankful for, the things that I haven't been thankful for, but maybe I should be. And I hope that you'll take this opportunity to do the same thing. Life is so precious. The people around us are so precious. Make sure that the people that you're telling thank you to actually deserve your thank you. And don't do what I've done and what I know a lot of people tend to do, and that is we just let things hang on and we let things surround us because we're so focused and geared towards this one direction that we don't want to stop long enough to actually say and think to ourselves, you know what? I don't need this in my life, and actually get rid of it. So, like I said, just some things that I've been thinking that I wanted to share with you guys. And Thanksgiving is tomorrow. And again, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making this podcast one of Apple's top 200 podcasts. I'm sure I wanted to reach this goal, but I didn't know that we would reach it so quickly. And it is all 100% because of you guys. You're sharing the podcast, you're listening to every episode, and you're engaging, and I absolutely love it. It's only going to get bigger and better. Some amazing things are planned, so thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to do this with you and share my heart and my advice and my experience with you guys so that it hopefully can help you. And I know that it helps me. I can promise you sitting down every week and doing this podcast is just as helpful for me as it is to you guys, because I don't know about y'all, but I walk around with so many thoughts, and I walk around with pent-up frustrations, and I've got to get them out. I've got to talk about the way that I feel about something or what I think about something. And this is my therapy, and I hope that it is helping you. So thank you for what you've done for me this past year in elevating this podcast and putting it on a pedestal. I appreciate it more than you could possibly ever know. And I will continue to be thankful as well. Thank you for joining me for this episode, pre-Thanksgiving Day episode of the Steve Freeman Podcast. Follow me on social media at The Steve Freeman. And if you haven't already, join my inner circle, the music business mindset. You can do that at thestevefreeman.com. And while you're there, register for the Artist Development Masterclass, which goes live day after tomorrow, Friday. It will go live. Lesson number 1, 7 weeks. It's a 7-week online course. The Artist Development Masterclass coming your way this Friday, and you can register for free. Take the course for free at thestevefreeman.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast no matter where you listen to the podcast, but it's most important on Apple Podcast. Those of you that are watching the video versions on YouTube, don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click that bell so that you're notified when we upload new videos here on the channel. Leave a comment below and leave us a like on the video if you got something out of this video and enjoyed it. Guys, I am truly thankful. It would take a long time for me to sit here and rattle off the things that I am truly thankful for. And I'm very thankful for you. I hope that each one of you have a safe and happy Thanksgiving holiday. Please be safe while you're out there traveling the roads if you're traveling, visiting friends and family. Think about the things that you're thankful for. Let the people know that you are thankful for, that you're thankful for them. And enjoy the holiday. Eat some good food, relax, let your brain decompress just a little bit. Again, thank you for who you are to me. And until the next time, guys, keep being creative. Keep pressing the boundaries. And there's nothing wrong with being independent. God bless. See you in the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for the Steve Freeman Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow Steve on social media at The Steve Freeman.